My name is Janis K. Percefull, and I need your help. I am running for Congress, and if the people of the 4th Congressional District of Arkansas will be allowed to vote in a free and fair election, then I will be your next Congresswoman. I've brought some papers with me here today. These are documents that document my run for Congress. The first document that I signed and dated, I did so in July of 2013. That was over a year ago. You file with the Federal Election Commission. You do that first. Now, it would be months before I would file in the state. People, it matters. No, it doesn't. I'm going to continue on. This is awful important. So what did I do between July of 2013 and February of 2014, all of those months? Well, I was campaigning. And my message was the message I have today, the message I have had every day I've been on this campaign. It has to do with poverty. The 4th Congressional District of Arkansas has lived in poverty for over a century, and it's time to stop it. I have also campaigned against big money. I have not taken any big money, nor will I. In January of 2014, the party that I am affiliated with raised its filing fee to $10,000. And in a state where 1 in 5 of our people do not know where their next meal is coming from, in a state that ranks #1 in the nation with both its children and its senior citizens going hungry, in a state that today ranks 49th in the country in poverty, I found it abhorrent that the party would raise its filing fee to $10,000. So, I had no other choice than to file as an independent and run in the general election. So again, this was in January of 2014. Another document, a legal document. My name, my signature, and the date. A legal document. In February, I went with the rest of the people who were going to run for office, and some of y'all are here today. You know, you had to file in February. I have 2 papers here. One is the political practice pledge. Another is a candidate form receipt. It's signed, it's filed, it's stamped, filed. Now, running as a write-in, there's a few more steps you have to take. And it has to do with this notice of candidacy. You are required on the same week to send this to every single county election commissioners. There are 33 counties in the 4th Congressional District. I filed all the necessary papers. Now, I knew my name would not be on the ballot. What many people will go to the poll remembering or knowing about this candidacy is that I dropped out. When you go to the polls, you will not, unless you're here today and remember my name. Well, let's just say you do remember my name, but you're really unsure of it. So you ask a poll worker, well, where's that list of candidates? And they'll show you. My name will not be on any list. Now, you can ask a poll worker, and they have been directed to say the same thing that the Secretary of State's office has said for months now. They can neither deny nor confirm that I'm on the ballot. Let me say that again. If you do not know ahead of time that I'm running, you go to the poll, you see a write-in, You say, who's the write-in? Well, is it that woman with those wanted signs? I have some wanted signs out. We can neither deny nor confirm. How many people here would love to go to the voting places and not know who's on the ballot? Does that seem constitutional to y'all? Some of the other websites have the power to send out all over the place information about my campaign. They cite it, and you look down at where they cite it, and the source they cite it is the Secretary of State, the official candidacy list for the state of Arkansas. So this is a question. These papers, where are they? What are they doing? Well, they're blowing in the wind. Now this leaves us with a question. And it was a question that was asked of me time and again in January of 2013. It's a question that I will ask of y'all, and I hope I'm brave enough to ask it in the way it was asked of me. It's a question that I think a lot of people need to hear. How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. That song played in my head for a month. I want to say something about labor in America in the 21st century. And I think if the people of the 4th District could speak, this is what they would say. Man was not born with a saddle on his back to be ridden by the booted and spurred privileged few. When I entered this race, I said I would not take special interest money. Thomas Jefferson called them the booted and spurred privileged few. In the 19th century, they were called the robber barons. In the 20th century, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, President of the United States, the president who did a collective program called the New Deal that lifted us out of poverty, he called them big money. In my grandmother's house, there were 2 photographs. One of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and the other was of my father. Now, my father and Franklin Delano Roosevelt both believed in the majesty and the power of a representative form of government, and that it was that power that could rein in the dark forces of unbridled greed. In my father's eyes, the New Deal and the GI Bill meant the end of such things as the outhouse, the number 3 washtub, and the kerosene lamp. For him, they became relics of early 20th century poverty. But more than that, the New Deal and the GI Bill meant for my dad that his children would never live in poverty, they would never know hunger, and they would never ever have to beg for anything. Now, in a few weeks, you're going to go to the polls and vote, and I'm asking you to vote for me. Because when I'm asking you to vote for me, what I'm asking you to do is to stand up for yourselves and to stand up for your families and your friends and your neighbors and your classmates and your colleagues and the stranger down the road. Because if we do not stand up for each other and for those who cannot stand up for themselves, then who will? Thank you.